Hey, good afternoon. Happy Friday. Rich Bontrager, the Trigger, back with you live. Coming to again to help you shine on camera, shine on stage. All this week, we've been talking about your brand and media, how branding and being creative with your media, learning how to answer important questions. These are the questions that I work with my clients. I help them come up with how it is best to brand, how it is to shine and show up on stage, and of course, leverage media, video, audio, live interviews, how to leverage all that stuff to a better, higher level. We're going to wrap up the week with how do you stand out? And that's the cumulative of everything else we've talked about all week long. And now, how do you stand out in this very, very noisy space? Podcasts are blowing up. There's more podcasts every day. And the interesting about podcasting, people are now learning about the power of shorts or having a very long podcast. I've been watching Inside of You. It's very interesting. It's a celebrity type interview show. It's over an hour of a long interview segment, a very long video driven podcast. I know they have an audio version of it as well, but then they're turning that into shorter, like 15-minute micro interviews out of the long content. So out of one podcast, you're getting two podcasts. More and more people are getting the power of repurposing, and that's part of standing out in the crowd. That's one tip for you right there. If you have material, repurpose it. Wrap it up in a different package. Now, again, chop it up shorter, pull out good elements. The other thing is to do when you want to stand out from the crowd is you want to have that be a lead magnet that goes back to your main website, goes to a call to action to book you for a call, get you to speak in public. So every time you're doing these multiple shows, make sure it's a lead mag or take them back to the full show, which is, I know, what many people are currently doing. That's one way to stand out. Another way is to literally make shorts. These new 30, 60-second shorts are all the buzz, and your algorithms are going to go through the roof. I just worked with a client, and one of her shorts that we just produced for her is up and running right now. And there is a call to action button, but that's even shorter content, and you can make 12, 15 out of long content. You can chop and chop and chop it. And again, it's a great lead magnet to stand out. Now, we've answered questions all week long. Like, what's your messaging? What's your brand identity? What's this? To stand out, you must own this space and be on brand. And even as I'm saying this, I'm going through some conversation with people that I trust and value about how I show up and how I need to sharpen and change some things as Rock the Stage Media keeps growing and expanding. It's fun to have these conversations, but your brand identity and how you show up is so important. Get a good camera. If you're using video to stand out from the crowd, you need to have a good camera. I know it's money. I know you may think anything will do. Now, I know a lot of people are shooting with their iPhones. Okay, there's a great quality camera built into these iPhones. They are great. The one drawback is I'm not a big fan of up and down. I like it the letterbox. I like it the movie style. My recommendation, again, to stand out from the crowd whenever possible is if you're shooting with your phone, do it in letterbox format. This, to me, says it's a little bit amateur. I know there's a value of these casual, quick, boom. I just did one the other day, sitting outside, enjoying the sunshine. I know there's value in that. But for your mainstay, main product, come up with what is going to be your way to show up on camera. Will it be this way? Will it be this way? Will it be more in a studio setting? What is going to be your main brand identity? And stay with that and stick with that. A lot of people right now are beginning to do amazing things in their own home studios. And I see comments coming in right here. What platform do you recommend for shorts? Great question. What platforms? With those shorts, I'm currently taking mine into 3 key platforms. I'm putting on YouTube. Shorts are very powerful on YouTube. And it is repurposed content of other material. But we have a short attention span. People are moving, flipping the dial, so use this. They also go to my Instagram. They go to my Reels. And they also go to my TikTok. Now, you can take that one piece and repurpose it on multiple channels that way. I would highly recommend doing this. And let's see, a follow-up question here. Spontaneous shorts. Oh yeah, spontaneous shorts is another way to do it. You can jump on. If you're on TikTok and you've got the points and the algorithm and you can jump on the TikTok, do a live shout out. Now on TikTok, people have hangout parties kind of. They sit down, they talk, they ramble. It goes on way too long very often. I understand people expected during pandemic, they were lonely and they want to talk to people, but make it count. One way to stand out, make it count with what you have to say and communicate. If you need to script it out, script it out. If you need to have bullet points, bullet point and have it either off monitor, in front of you on a teleprompter. You need to know what you're going to say and why you're going to say it. Because again, the attention span is, we're all squirrels. We're all a bunch of squirrels flipping the dial as fast as we can. Another big tip that I can give you, I was just working with a different client this morning on this, is when you brand yourself on YouTube, especially on YouTube. Again, it's a free platform, great for videos. I may review this again soon. Make your covers have a standard look and vibe. You are a TV show now. And you know, every TV show has their opener. When you walk in NCIS, the original NCIS, remember they always flash and they go to that gray scene? They have done that for 20 years, that flash and gray. It's part of their brand. And everyone on the NCISs have their own variation. Your cover shot the same way. They have had that same montage, and they just keep changing the pictures of the montage, but it's the same montage from the very beginning. Go back to the very first episode with Gibbs, then go to one presently and just see how they've changed the montage. That branding of your cover of the first thing they see is so important that people know. But this is where you need to change, and you need to start thinking like a TV producer. What is your TV image? What is your TV brand? What are you going to do when you do a transition? What are you going to do when you have a sponsor for the show? These are the things that are going to help you pop. Another trick, if you like pre-recording your podcast in advance, by all means do it. Produce them, get them done, edited, all cleaned up. If you want your show to have an extra little pop to it, sit down, separate from the actual interview, and do an opening reflection, tease it up, maybe drop a soundbite from the episode in. Say, hey, this was a great show. We had XYZ person on. Oh, man, they were talking about such an amazing point. You don't want to miss it. Pause, edit in a clip from the show, come back to them and say, I got so much out of the show. I'm happy to share it with you now. Sit down and relax. And then you watch the show. At the end of the show, you come back as if you've just watched it again and you reflect on it and go, see what I mean? They were so generous with their time. They were so amazing. Don't miss the next one. So you can do a podcast, but you can also add extra bonus side touches of personal communication. It will make you stand out from everyone else who's simply doing play, do a podcast, play, do a podcast. There are so many ways that you can stand out, including how you dress and show up. Now, we've seen everyone from Dennis Rodman back in the day, he was as flamboyant as he could be, and it was his brand, and it got attention. What is going to be the thing that's going to catch their eye? What is it going to be that people are going to remember? You've got great journalists that have had that microphone, the iconic microphone that they wanted there for all their interview series. Larry King had the suspenders. Larry King always had the shirt and suspenders. It became part of that brand of how Larry would show up, and people knew Larry. How do you want to show up? And it's really a big question to answer, because that will help the know, like, trust. It will help the fact that you're going to be able to be recognized in your videos, on other people's interviews. Yes, not just your own shows. When you're on other people's interviews, be on brand. It may sound like, Rich, I need a whole wardrobe of one outfit. We've all seen TV shows like that. Everything is black, and that's all their wardrobe is. You may not have to go that extreme. You can do some variations on it, but you do need to figure out what the brand is and how you are going to stand out from the crowd. Again, this is where Rock the Stage Media comes in. This is where we help you do all that. And I want to give you a chance after this long week that we've done, you can book a free call, a free consultation. Hit that QR code right there, and you can book a free call with me. And we'll look at where you're at, the questions you had, as we've seen throughout the week here this week. What are the things that you're wrestling with, and how would you like to level that up? We can go through some of the questions, and we can set up formal coaching as well to help you go through, example, like that YouTube channel discussion I had today, like the branding colors, like how long you should do a short, how you should leverage your shorts. There's so many ways to help you stand out from the crowd. Book a call. I would love to take the time to sit down with you and encourage you to really, really shine on camera and shine on stage. How do you stand out on camera? How do you stand out? That's the thing you got to figure out to really grow that brand. As always, want to learn more? Go to rockthestagemedia.com. We'd love to help to serve you right there, rockthestagemedia.com. And how do you stand out on camera? We're going to talk about it in a unique way coming up. We're going to do a special week of I Stutter. And that's going to be part of the National Stutter Awareness Week. It's coming up May 8th through the 13th. There are amazing actors, influencers that stutter, that have worked around it, built amazing careers. And there's people in our schools, people in our lives. 1 out of 100 people stutter. We're going to take a special week and have conversation insights to help you understand what stuttering is, what it is not, and how to simply let people be people who stutter. It's not a disease, it's not contagious, and it's not anything you can cure. There's no pill for stuttering. We're going to dive deeper on that. And again, people like myself who have overcome a stutter, it's part of how we do stand out. It's part of how we do separate ourselves, and we tell that story and we share it openly to help other people as well. Been another great week. I love hanging out at 2 p.m. with you. Again, always reach out, rich@richbontrager.net. I'd love to hear from you. Find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, on many streaming platforms, and we'll be back next week for more 2 p.m. with The Trigger. Have a great weekend.